This is the fourth post for interview series, and let's see what all questions we got in this post. Hello everyone, my name is Arun, and let's get started. So I got another 10 questions series here in this post, and we'll discuss each of the questions one by one. So our first question is, when you open portal on the VM, you see a public IP address, and when you try to RDP with the help of public IP address, it didn't work, and you have been through NSG and all, still not working. So what exactly interviewer is trying to ask you is, the public IP address that you see on the Azure portal of the VM, you use that IP to access the RDP of your virtual machine, but you're not able to get in, and rest all is good. NSG is perfect, RDP port is open, and there should not be any restriction, but still, well, to answer this question, you need to understand the public IP that you see on the portal. Portal is the keyword, is not directly attached to the VM. It is coming from the public load balancer. Okay. If you have noticed, the VM which shows public IP address behind the load balancer, or the backend pool VM, shows the public IP address of the load balancer. That's why you're not able to RDP. The question is more to know, to figure out the VM is behind the load balancer rather than the RDP. He is trying to ask you the question in a different way. That's why he said portal and RDP and everything is fine. So you need to explain this is behind the load balancer, and to RDP you need to see if there are any NAT rules defined, if there is any port forwarding happening with the help of load balancer. So the point is, you need not to troubleshoot the NSG or reset the RDP or preset the RDP configuration, but you need to see, you need to go for the load balancer to see the port forwarding, to see the NAT rules and those kind of things. Okay, it's a good question. Let's go to the question number 2, which says, what is accelerated networking and how it helps application? Well, as the name says, it accelerates the networking. Means it enables single root IO virtualization, SRIOV, to a VM. In Azure, there are most of the VM, not all, is supported by this feature that you can enable accelerated networking on that VM during the creation or even after the creation. What happens when you enable this? It improves the networking performance immensely. This high performance path bypasses the host from the data path, reducing latency, jitter, and CPU utilization. Okay, so this is what the accelerated networking is, and that's how it helps the application by reducing the latency. To know more, I have shared another link here where we have all the answers. You can go and understand the architecture, how it bypasses the data path. Okay, when you enable it, the virtual switches are bypassed. Okay, to know more, you can check this YouTube video. The third question is there any restriction or have you faced an issue while adding machine to existing AV set? Oh yes. In this question, interviewer trying to know whether you can add any machine to the AV set, or is there any kind of recommendation or restrictions. Okay, so you need to answer it carefully. You need to inform all series could not be in the same availability set because they require a specific hardware. You can give the example of A8 and A9 VM size can't be mixed due to requirement on dedicated RDMA backend network. Okay, You can add more VMs to the availability set later, but you need to know what VM sizes are available on the hardware. You can also, make your answer more great by using the PowerShell commandlet like get AZ VM size will list you all the available size on the hardware cluster for the availability set. It would be like get AZ VM size, provide the resource group name, provide the availability set name, and it will give you all the VM sizes that can be a part of that availability set. Okay, or you can emphasize by saying no, all VM sizes cannot be a part of single availability set because they require a specific hardware. Cool. Let's go to another one. Could you define the recovery process of Azure VM in case of VM stuck due to Windows update or system file check or on please wait screen or anything like that? Well, you must have seen this issue. It appears quite often while doing migrations or uh, you know. So in this issue, what exactly happens when you turn on the machine, it gets stuck in the starting mode, or you reboot the machine, something happens, it's stuck, either stopping or starting, and uh, all those issues attached to the same kind of scenario. Okay, that's why interviewer mentioned specifically Windows update or system file check or please wait screen. The idea is the machine got stuck while starting, maybe because of Windows update, maybe because of file check, or maybe because of please wait screen or anything like that. So there are steps provided in the MS documentation. I have mentioned in the below right here. You can go and read about it. If you already know, then it is wonderful. I'll talk about few steps only that can help you to give the answer. And what you gotta do, you need to first stop the VM, affected VM, and you need to create the, because you cannot copy the OS disk, so you need to create a snapshot of that OS disk, and from that snapshot you need to create the virtual disk, attach that disk to any other VM that you created or you already have for the troubleshooting purpose, connect to that VM, edit the files or tools to fix the issues, and unmount and detach that virtual hard disk from the troubleshooting VM and swap that OS disk to the VM which was affected, and it will help you fix the issue. Okay, these are the basic steps that you can tell to the interviewer. This is what he actually wanted to hear, not exactly deep down to the error. Okay, that's why it's with so many uh, things he mentioned in the question. Okay, so what exactly he wanted to know: if your OS disk got corrupt or got issues, how would you fix it? You gotta take a snapshot, create a disk, attach it to a different VM, find out the issue, fix it, and swap the disk after detaching from the troubleshooting VM. And this thing can help in so many issues. So these are the steps. Okay, let's go to the question 5. For a standard managed disk, will I be charged for the actual size of the data on the disk or for the provision capacity of the disk? Cool. Well, you need to explain it in such a way that you know what is happening right now and what used to happen later. Okay, in the past. So if you talk about managed disk, you'll be charged based on the provision capacity of the disk. Okay, for standard managed disk, not the provision capacity. It's the provision capacity of the disk, but in case of premium, it is the size of the disk. You can add those things. All right, can I take incremental snapshot of managed disk? No, no, you cannot. However, if you are updated, this question may be a little tricky because the obvious answer is no. But if you are updated with the Azure announcements or Azure updates, you can, and this is in preview right now, so you can mention that as well. Right now we cannot, but It is in preview and we can take it if you have registered yourself for the preview or you are utilizing the preview feature. But this is not generally available as of now. Cool. Now, can VMs in an availability set consist of a combination of managed and unmanaged disk? No, that's not possible. And if you know, we talked in the availability set that they require a different hardware set. That is one of the reason. Always remember the managed disk work with the managed and unmanaged with the unmanaged. What kind of role-based access control support is available for managed disk? Okay, well, the default key roles are owner, contributor, and reader. But now we have almost all the RBAC roles that we can apply here. But to answer this question, gotta reply owner, contributor, and reader. Can I create a copy of managed disk? No, we cannot create the copy of managed disk. To make a copy, you need to create a snapshot first, then create a disk out of the snapshot. Can I use GPD partition on Azure disk? Well, Generation 1 images can only use GPT partitioning on data disk, not OS disk. OS disk must use the MBR partition style. Okay. Well, this is the collection of 10 questions for the part 4, and I hope you like these questions. There is the answer below and all the relevant links that you can go and check and read about it. Well, thank you for watching. You have a good day. Let's meet in another video with new set of questions. Bye-bye.